Welcome in, race fans, to another fabulous Tuesday night where we are live with the top tier racing group here in the Tricia's Learning Center Gen 4 series right here on the Royalty Racing Network. I'm going to be your host tonight. I go by the name of Brandon Massey. You all probably know that by now. I know the chat's already hopping off in YouTube, and that's awesome. I'm so excited about tonight, and I'm going to tell you why, because tonight is the night where we start the chase to crown a champion in what will be 5 weeks time. I want to welcome everybody in to the Irish Hills of Michigan, where tonight we're going to have horsepower, heart, and history all collide into one. The chase for the top tier racing league Tricia's Learning Center Gen 4 series does start here tonight. 12 drivers, 5 tracks, 1 goal, and that is going to be the right to call themselves champion. We're going to take a quick look at the remaining rest of the schedule. As you can see, we are here tonight at Michigan, where next week we'll travel out to the Road America, and then we're going to follow Road America up with Charlotte, and then to the last great Coliseum at Bristol Motor Speedway, and then these drivers will end in rolling the dice out there at Las Vegas. Let's take a look at the top 12 right now in points. We know our regular season champion stood tall. He proved week after week that he had speed and consistency to go the distance. That was Christian Proctor. But as we roll here into Michigan, it was Dylan Canova that's going to lead the field into battle. He had a fresh, dominant run last week at Darlington, and I think that that's made him the driver to beat heading into the chase. But just behind those two drivers that actually separates them is our second place points driver right now in Kenny Kuko. And then you have Jake Raven, you have Nick Raffini, you have JD Van Kirk, Jorge Ledesma Jr., Robert Altman, Matt Baines, Zach White, David Shively, and Nick Baum, all at the top 12 setting right now in points. So what's going to be a 200-mile-an-hour chess match of Michigan? Then we're going to travel to the road course chaos of Road America, the lights of Charlotte, the short track slugfest at Bristol, and the high-stakes finale in Las Vegas. Every lap will count. Every mistake costs a lot, and every point that these drivers can gain could determine the championship. These drivers are going to be going out. They're going to be laying down their qualifying laps. Again, I want to welcome everybody in here to a wonderful, fabulous Tuesday night where we're going to be kicking off our championship run. And right now we're going to follow. You can see our guy leading the points right now after the regular season has ended is Dylan Canova. He has 4 wins on the season, 14 total here in top tier. I believe is the most winningest driver among the drivers that we have here in the top tier racing league is Dylan Canova. But I know he has 4 on the season, and he's going to be leading these drivers into battle tonight. But I can tell you, it was just a mere 10th of a second that separated the top 5 drivers in practice. I can tell you that in practice, the top 2 drivers laid down exact matching lap times. And then I can also tell you that 3rd and 4th place drivers laid down exact matching lap times. As you can see, Dylan hard into the wall there. Let's go to regular season champion Christian Proctor, as we're going to watch his qualifying attempt. It was 0.03 of a second that separated 4th and 1st in practice. Tire wear is going to be key. Tire wear is going to be management. As you can see, Brock Morris has laid down his lap at a 37.89. Let's get into some keys into tonight. Tonight's temperature out here in the Irish Hills of Michigan shows 69 degrees, 75% relative humidity, partly cloudy skies with a 16-mile-an-hour wind. That 16-mile-an-hour wind very well could change how these race cars handle. Right now, the track temperature is on the cooler side of things at about 78 degrees. This 2-miler is absolutely fun. I love racing here. I've always enjoyed racing Michigan, but I love getting around this place. This place is probably one of my most funnest tracks to race at. You can see Brock Morris right now. We know he had a fantastic run going last week at Bristol. Darlington. Sorry, we have Bristol coming up. But last week at Darlington, got a little bit off of the fuel strategy amongst everybody else and was able to lock up. I believe it was a top 5 finish for Brock Morris. Matt Baines, you can see second right now atop the leaderboard. Kenny Kuko just finished up his run. He was a late arrival here tonight, about a 10th off the pace right now of the current pole sitter. But he is second place in points. Christian Proctor right there. You can see him coasting down the backstretch, has laid down fourth quick. Nick Baum was fastest in practice, and he's thrown me off a little bit. So you Nick Baum fans at home, I know there's some out there that watches, and I know that you all hop into the chat. He's thrown me off a little bit tonight. Not the typical black and gold that we see out of Nick Baum in the paint scheme tonight. We got a white and gold, and I'm excited to see it. Right here's Jake Raven. We know that he is also tied up into the points championship. JD Van Kirk right here in the 22. JD's probably the only driver that I would root driving the 22 because I'm not a fan of Logano. I just put that out there. So JD gets my vote. So for the JD fans at home, JD gets my vote. And then you can see Zach White right here on the racetrack. Dylan Canova, after having a rough start to his qualifying efforts, has went to P2 currently. So tonight's going to be a fun night. This 2-miler here at Michigan should provide some really fast-paced racing. I can tell you, in qualifying, the top speed, I see 2 matching top speeds of 214 mile an hour. One of them was Kenny Kuko. The other was Jacob Wilson. Now, the rest of these guys are all around in that same time frame. And so, or same high speed. Brock Morris at 206. Dylan Canova 211. So the top speeds of these race cars are going to be well in excess of 200 mile an hour. And that's absolutely going to be wild. So tire wear is going to be key. Now, the thing with the tire wear, though, that we want to keep in mind is we do have cooler track temperatures here tonight. I mean, we've seen it was only about 78 degrees when we was in the qualifying session here. So we are going to have a little bit of cooler track temps. So we'll see how that kind of changes the tire wear. And we know green flag pit stops, right? It shakes everything up. So when we see green flag pit stops tonight, especially around this 2-miler here at Michigan, executing getting on and off pit road is going to be key for every single one of these drivers. It's going to be key because you don't want to lose track position, and you can lose a ton of it by just entering and exiting pit road. So qualifying's complete. We're going to take a quick look at the qualifying results. I'll see if I can't get them pulled up on the board, and in fact, I can. Right there, you will see Brock Morris in the 05. He will actually start on pole, and that will be the qualifying results. You can see Canova, Baines, Kuko, Proctor, Baum, Shively, Wilson, Jake Raven, Jeremy Gill, I believe ran last week or a couple weeks ago, somewhat relatively new to me. Jorge Ledesma Jr., JD Van Kirk, Nick Ruffini, Zach White, Robert Altman, Shane Weldon. 16 drivers signed in, but you can see right there just a 10th of a second separate what will be the top 4 drivers. So again, it's going to be an absolutely fun and amazing night here tonight. Now, I'm excited about it. I know the race fans, I hope you all are excited about it, because just within 5-week time, we're going to be we're going to be crowning a series champion. And again, I want to stress points matter, because right now just a mere 9 points over top of Kenny Kuko does lead Dylan Canova. And then from there, it gets tight. It gets really tight, because only a point behind Kuko is Christian Proctor. And then you have Jake Raven right there, 6 points behind, and then another point to Nick Ruffini. JD Van Kirk right there, a point behind them. And so it's not out of the realm. A win can change everything. A couple wins could change everything when it comes to the points here, right? Because I do believe you get bonus points for winning. So that actually could change everything as a whole. So we got to keep an eye on the points over the next 5 weeks. That's going to matter. And then any drama that we have in these races, and there could be tons of it. All right. I mean, we know these Gen 4 cars, high horsepower, low downforce. They like to get extremely loose, especially later in tire runs or in fuel runs when the tires start to wear just a little bit more. Let's take a look at identifiers, and let's take a look at the paint schemes. You can see right there is Christian Proctor in his 13 Hello Kitty machine. JD Van Kirk sitting down here on pit road. We showed his ride. Robert Altman right here. Jorge Ledesma Jr. still hasn't made a ride, but there's Nick's car I was talking about. Not in the traditional black and white that we typically see, but that silver and gold looks really, really good. Does that liquid death machine. I seen, and I don't want to put too much out there about it, Nick, but I seen in some driver chat, he's planning to bring something maybe completely different for next season. So we'll see what that is. Davis Shively in the 85 right back here. I feel like this paint scheme just fits this car. I feel like this is something that we would have seen in the early 2000s. Oh, Jake Raven. Maybe it was Jake that said that. I don't think it was. I would think it was Nick. Because Nick didn't run this last week. It's Jake Raven that typically runs the liquid death. Nonetheless, I got 2 liquid death machines out here. That's pretty dope. Pretty excited about it. All right, we got about a minute left before we're going to get underway here and kick off our championship run. So let me know if you are tuned in live and you are watching. Let me know in the comments section. I have it pulled up here and I can see it. Let me know who we're pulling for. I can already see Hyperspeed has already been shouted out. Rachel Van Kirk's already shouted out JD. She's in here every single night pulling for JD, and that's super cool to see. And I hope you guys enjoy what I do and calling the races at home. I hope you'll enjoy it. So let me know who you're pulling for tonight. Let me know in the comments. It's going to be a fun night. I'm going to be honest for you race fans at home. I think we're going to see an upset winner tonight. I really do. I think we're there. I think we're going to see some sort of a little bit of an upset in a win tonight. I just got that feeling. I just got that broadcaster feeling. I think we're going to see something wild and fun tonight. Could just be me and being hopeful. The warm-ups is over. That means these drivers are going to start gridding, and once they do, we're going to get into the grid. So again, if you are tuned in at home, hop into the comments. Let me know just exactly who you're pulling for in tonight's race. Let's get into the grid. Starting on pole is going to be the driver of the number 05. The driver, the number 05, is going to be Brock Moore. Starting outside pole, our current points leader, not our regular season champion. The points leader starting into the chase is going to be the 70, Dylan Canova. Starting third, also championship driver, is going to be the driver, the number 72, is going to be Matt Baines. Starting fourth, currently second place in points, driving the number 71, is going to be Kenny Kuko. Starting fifth, the regular season champion, driving the number 13, is going to be Christian Proctor. Starting sixth, driver the number 1, also a championship driver, is going to be Nick Baum. Starting seventh, driving the number 85, is going to be Davis Shively. Starting eighth, driving the number 51, is going to be Jacob Wilson. Starting ninth, driving the number 37 out of that Hyperspeed Motorsports camp that we've seen in the chat already, is going to be Jake Raven. Starting 10th, driving the number 4, is going to be Jeremy Gill. Starting 11th, driver the number 44, is going to be Jorge Ledesma Jr. Starting 12th, driver of the number 22, is going to be JD Van Kirk. Starting 13th, driver the 04, is going to be Nick Raffini. Starting 14th, driver the number 77 is going to be Zach White. Starting 15th, driver the number 94 is going to be Robert Altman. Starting 16th, going to be the driver of the number 5, Shane Weldon. That will be tonight's starting lineup for the Tricia's Learning Center Gen 4 Series here in the Top Tier Racing League. And you can see these drivers are stacked, they're packed, they're ready to go. The belts is pulled up, the intensity is rising. We're going to see speeds in excess of 200 mile an hour. Brock Morris is bringing them down into the restart zone, and the green flag is out here in the Irish Hills of Michigan for 75 total laps as the chase for a championship begins tonight. You can see Dylan Canova out front already. Was able to make a move out on the outside of those drivers. Race fans, just take a look at this pack. 2-3 wide racing. Tons of racing room. Down through the apron goes Christian Proctor. We can see the 51, Jacob Wilson, right there. Inside the 1 machine of Nick Baum. You can see the 05 of Brock Morris was working that little bit of a higher lane outside the 70. Probably trying to get some fresh air to the front end of that race car to help it turn just a little bit. We hear these drivers talk week in and week out about dirty air. You can see Brock has just went to the inside of the 05. Now, the high horsepower, low downforce on these machines tells me that that outside line is going to work just a little bit. You can see the 71 of Kenny Kuko right there, a little bit loose on exit. Christian Proctor just setting inside the top 5, currently riding 5th. You can see Matt Baines to his outside, Jacob Wilson right behind him, Nick Baum in tow. Real loose on exit. What a beautiful save from Nick, as well as the 85 of Davis Shively. That's going to allow Jake Raven to get a massive run down this long front straightaway. And in fact, he'll clear 3 cars. We'll call it 2 cars for sure, but this battle right here has been a wild one. These 3 drivers have been all over. Oh, the 72 Matt Baines gets a little bit free, still chasing the back end of the race car. A little bit of wall contact, nothing major. He's going to lose a little bit of time, but not too much. But that was almost disastrous for Matt Baines. I know he's one of our championship drivers. Don't want to get those tires too angry right now. This battle back here is still heating up. You've got Nick Baum, you got Nick Ruffini, Davis Shively, Jorge Ledesma Jr. all right here amongst each other. One thing I want to keep an eye on is packing the dirty air on the back of these race cars. If you pack too much air onto the back of these race cars, provided they already have the low downforce that they do, you will know that that's going to upset the back ends of these cars. As you can see, the drivers with the teal collared spoilers, I believe, is our championship drivers. So the teal collared windshield banners and the teal collared spoilers on the back of these cars, you can see right there, I believe, signifies our championship drivers. You can see it right here on the back end of Dylan Canova. You can see it right here on Kenny Kuko. So that does signify our championship drivers. You can see Jorge Ledesma Jr. back here. Robert Altman. Shane Weldon's back here. Jeremy Gill's back here. These drivers, JD Van Kirk right here with them. Altman. Again, championship drivers, Zach White. No change out front right now. It is still Dylan Canova. Brock Morris has been running that low line. Now, I just wonder how much tire wear that Dylan is, or how much tire is Dylan using running that higher line. I would think that you'd be able to save tire a little bit better running the lower line like Brock's running right now, but I could be completely wrong. Now, you can see Dylan's running about a lane off the bottom there. Kenny Kuko got a heck of a run on Brock Morris, though, out of turn 2. Or the exit of turn 4, sorry, rather. Yeah, I think it's just going to be hard to pass on the bottom. He got such a heck of a run. Running that high side. Let's see if he does it again. In fact, he will. He'll go back up there again. So let's see if he's able to generate that same run that he got the last time. Yeah, you can see right now he's about 2.5 to 3 mile an hour quicker getting that run off that high side. In fact, has one of the highest top speeds that I'm seeing right now at 216. So every single one of these drivers in the Sims have laid down a top speed of over 200 mile an hour. The lowest I'm seeing in the Sims, 207. I think dirty air is really starting to play a factor as we are 11 laps in already. Very quickly do we have the first 10 down, working lap 11 right now. Dylan Canova, Brock Morris, Kenny Kuko, Christian Proctor, Jacob Wilson. That's the top 5. Matt Baines, Jake Raven, Nick Baum, Nick Raffini, Davis Shively. That's going to be 6th through 10th. Jorge Ledesma Jr., Jeremy Gill, Shane Weldon, Robert Altman, JD Van Kirk. JD's got a run on Robert. Robert's actually going to shut the door a little bit. That'll be 11th through 15th. Zach White, 16th. Drafty not signed in tonight. Let's see where JD goes here. We got all 3 leaders tied up on top of each other. You got the 2 championship and hunt drivers, Dylan Canova, Kenny Kuko on the outside. Brock Morris trying to muscle his way to the front. He's going to side draft the 70. Just about cleared. He wasn't able to clear right then, but he just about did. See how hard he drives it down into turn 1. He's going to sell it off in there. He's still not going to be able to clear the 70 of Dylan Canova. He's actually going to have about an even run off. Dylan going to get a little bit better run off the exit of turn 4. Brock's going to fall back into place. At this point in the race, this is some of the most pressure that we've seen Dylan Canova under. I like that line Brock just ran right there. Oh, Dylan really loose. That's going to cost him a ton of time. Actually, in fact, it's not, surprisingly, but that is going to give Brock Morris the outside line. Now, let's see if Brock is able to make this work. Let's see if he's going to be able to get the run off. This is the first time, in fact, he will. That's the first time that we've seen Dylan have to run that lower line. And I thought, as sideways as that 70 car was, I thought maybe that was going to allow Kenny Kuko an opportunity. Really extremely loose was Dylan Canova right there. Give race lead to Brock Morris. Dylan now under fire from Kenny Kuko. Kenny's going to sell it off in there on the yellow line. He's going to clear him. Oh, he just about cleared him. He waited just a split second too long to get up in front of the 70. Did Kenny Kuko. Just about had him clear. He should be able to clear him this time. Oh, Kenny. Oh, my heart drops for these championship drivers when I see the back ends of these race cars step out on them. That's the last thing that you want to do is aggravate those tires even more. Christian Proctor, regular season champion, has now moved up into fourth. Jacob Wilson. I want to get back here. I want to check up on JD. JD actually got around some of these guys back here, Robert Altman and them. I want to check up on JD. The racing has been intense up front. Kenny looking back on the inside of Dylan Canova. I think he's got to slide him here. In fact, he will. Yeah, he'll put some dirty air on the front end of that 70. But I tell you what, though, that 71 is a handful to drive right now. And in fact, Brock Morris has actually been able to extend his lead out to about 7/10. He is not the fastest car on the racetrack right now. I can tell you as of the last time by. Well, in fact, he was the fastest car on the racetrack last time by about a mere 10th. Brock Morris just out here logging laps. And in fact, that has now been able to extend that lead out to about a second. So right now, one of the fastest cars is the fastest car on the racetrack is the 05 of Brock Morris. Again, I think if you run the low line early and you save those tires, I think it's going to play dividend later on. Dylan loose again. Kenny's actually been able to separate himself a little bit from the front of that 70 car, not allowing the 70 to pack air on the back end of that car. And let's go inside the lap. We're going to be on board our current race leader, Brock Morris. Very smooth, very controlled. Working the throttle. On board the 71 of Kenny Kuko. A little bit loose on exit right there. How much quicker he can get back to the top, the throttle running the outside. Dylan Canova on board. Little tight sensation he felt right there. You can hear it lifting. You can hear him lift out of the throttle. It tells me he felt a little tight. When you get tight through center and exit, that really, yeah, that car's loose. So it must be tight on entry and somewhat free through the center exit of 3 and 4. But it's tight in the center and exit of 1 and 2. So that's quite the handful to be battling right now. That's inside the lap. So Brock Morris, Kenny Kuko, Dylan Canova still the top three. Christian Proctor fourth, Jacob Wilson fifth. Jake Raven has since moved himself up to sixth. Nick Baum seventh, Matt Baines eighth, Nick Raffini ninth, Jorge Ledesma Jr.'s 10th. JD Van Kirk's on the move. Just outside the top 10 right now is JD Van Kirk, currently in 11th. Shane Weldon. This pack of guys, I feel like these guys have been in this pack together all evening long. The 5 really loose there. The 4 trying to go down, break the side draft. I'm not 100% sure. I think that's what he was doing. It's what it looked like to me he was doing anyway. Oh, the 5 extremely loose on exit right there. Jacob Wilson on pit road. I was beginning to wonder when we was going to start to see pit road open. I want to keep an eye on these leaders and find out when these leaders want to go. I believe Brock's coming this time on the very bottom of the racetrack. In fact, he is slowing down, so that tells me he's coming to pit road. Kenny is not. Kenny's going to try to stay out. In fact, lead a lap. That might be a bonus point. I'm not 100% sure, but a lot of guys on pit road. Brock Morris on pit road. Dylan Canova, Christian Proctor, Nick Raffini, Jake Ravens on pit road. JD Van Kirk, Shaden Weldon. Half the field is already on pit road. That tells me Kenny Kuko's going to have to come this time. You don't want to give up track time, those worn tires. Right now, it's about a second and a half almost in tire fall off. So he's coming through the bottom of the racetrack. That tells me he's going to come this time. I suspect that Kenny, Nick, Matt, the rest of these guys are going to come this time. You just can't afford to give up that much time. Kenny, in fact, is on pit road. Nick's coming to pit road. Matt Baines, Jorge Ledesma Jr. elect to stay out. So turn race lead over to Matt Baines. Jorge Ledesma Jr. We'll see how this all cycles out. We can see right here on pit road is Kenny Kuko. Now Dylan actually jumped Brock Morris on pit road. I can tell you what the big difference was there. The big difference was the 3 seconds that it took getting on and off pit road. It was a 43 to a 46. Now Dylan just let the 05 go. So Kenny just now exiting the leaders somewhat distant in front of him, entering turn 3. You can see there goes what will be race leader Brock Morris once this cycles out. You can see Matt Baines, Zach White, Robert Altman all on pit road. Jorge Ledesma Jr. is now coming to pit road. So that will turn the lead over to Brock Morris once he gets back around here. You can see there goes Brock. And then back here is Kenny. So I think now you got to be patient, right? I talked about this in the pre-race show. You got to execute getting on and off pit road. Yeah, so Jorge is just now leaving and exiting pit road. So that will turn race lead back over to Brock Morris, Dylan Canova, Christian Proctor, Jacob Wilson, and Kenny Kuko. Finds himself back in 5th. So that's the first round of green flag pit stops. Race leader, Brock Morris. Unknowingly, I was muted, and I apologize. So let me start all that back over. So the battle for the race lead is about 3/10 right now. Kenny Kuko was able to get around the 51 of Jacob Wilson and our regular season champion and Christian Proctor. And when we talked to him last week during his interview, he told us you don't have to win the races to win the regular season championship. You just got to show up. And that's exactly what he did. Through consistency, he was able to lock up the regular season championship, and right now running third right behind Dylan Canova. Green flag pit stops has shaken up quite a bit of things. One of the closest battles that we have right now on the racetrack is going to be between these two gentlemen right here. It's going to be between Nick Baum and Matt Baines. Oh, Kenny with a massive crash. We're going to... Oh, he just gets extremely loose. Oh, and he just nails the inside wall. That's going to be devastating to start his championship run. Had one of the faster cars here tonight. Did Kenny, and he's going to be down there on pit road taking repairs. Came into tonight's event just 9 points behind Dylan Canova and 1 point in front of Christian Proctor. He came in at second. Just not going to be the night that he was looking for. Just trying to make up some of that track position that he felt like he had lost. Tell you what, this guy here in 51, Jacob Wilson, has impressed me a ton tonight. Very solidly has been inside the top 5. Nick Raffini's got a stellar run going on. Just moved himself into 5th. Situation like that for Kenny just shows. You can see Nick Raffini just grinding the wall just a little bit right there. It's going to move him outside the top 5. Just now looking in. The 2 cars in front of him. So Jorge Ledesma Jr., I tell you what, very quietly has found himself in 8th, riding inside the top 10 right now. He's up 3 spots. Jeremy Gill. JD Van Kirk has found himself now inside the top 10, currently riding 10th. Trying to chase down the 4 car. These guys here have been racing all night long around each other. I feel like Zach White, Davis Shively, Robert Altman, Shane Weldon. He's some distance off of them back here, but these guys have been kind of linked. So Brock has figured out something. The rest of the drivers are trying to figure it out just exactly what he knows, because right now that lead is growing and has consistently been about a second or so, or sorry, not a second, about a tenth to a tenth and a quarter quicker the past couple laps, and that lead is just starting to grow. as we're later into the run. Now, these guys came down pit road at lap 25, 26 area. Jacob Wilson was one of the first ones on pit road. He came at lap 24, coming to 25. Brock Morris and the rest of them hit pit road just shortly after that. So that tells me that here in about 8 to, say, 10 laps, that pit road is going to open. That should be enough to get us to the finish. But I think if you're Brock Morris, what you got to be thinking about is that 3 seconds difference between the total pit length. It was a 43.0 by Dylan Canova to a 46.0. So it was a 3-second difference getting on off pit road, including the pit stop. Now Brock's been able to make that up, and I think Dylan just let him go by earlier. I think he was thinking long run, but so far that lead out to about 9/10 of a second right now. The battle for fifth between Matt Baines, Nick Baum. I don't remember Nick running this paint scheme. Am I wrong? We have any Nick Baum fans watching from home? I don't think this is a typical paint scheme for him. I could be wrong. Big bobble out of the 72 of Matt Baines, though. So after getting into the wall on the front stretch there just a little bit ago, a handful of laps ago, Nick's still trying to race these guys, race these guys down, chase them down. Championship driver JD Van Kirk trying to chase down Jeremy Gill just in front of him. Jake Raven somehow managed to get some damage too, and he's on pit road. I missed that. I'm not sure exactly what happened to him. Right now, about 2.5, 3 seconds separate the top 3 cars. It's the closest battle we have on a racetrack right now. Oh, Matt had a run on the outside. I don't think Nick was expecting him to sell it off in there on the outside quite like that. No harm, no foul. It's going to be a drag race down the backstretch. What a move by Matt Baines, though. He sailed that race car off into turn 1. I think it caught Nick completely by surprise. Jacob Wilson has hit pit road. Now this is on par, right? Because he came a lap 24 the first time. So 24 laps later at lap 48, he's back down pit road. I'm going to get back to this battle. Matt's still into the wall. These guys have been throwing it at each other for the last 5 or so laps. Dylan Canova on pit road. Ooh, he was a little hot coming in. We'll keep an eye on race control. That was really aggressive. Getting on pit road, we'll see. I think he's going to be okay. I don't see anything from race control in terms of a black flag on too fast entering right now. I think if you're Brock Morris, you got to come this time. He's going to be aggressive getting on pit road too. You can see him locking them down. Christian Proctor. I think that these three guys are the. I think this is the right move. Lap 50. It's going to turn race lead over to Matt Baines right now. Now, I can tell you for sure that Jacob Wilson's already been on off pit road. He came at 47, coming to 48. Now we're in the midst of a green flag cycle, so we're going to have to see how all this shakes out. Now, here goes Brock Morris. Here comes Dylan Canova. Brock done a much better job getting on off pit road this time. And in fact, was faster getting on and off pit road than Dylan Canova. While it was only by about a quarter of a second, by about 2.5 tenths, he was better getting on and off pit road. So we're in the midst of a green flag cycle right now. This will be the one to get us to the end. We do have 25 laps to go at this point of the race. Some major trouble for some guys on pit road. You can see there comes Jake Raven. Now he's got enough damage repaired to roll back out. Kenny's still getting his machine worked on down there. It's going to be a heartbreaker for those two guys. They're going to have 4 more weeks to go out. Jeremy Gill hitting pit road. Matt Baines electing to run long here. So the top three, what will be the top three once this green flag cycle shakes out? Brock Morris, Dylan Canova, Christian Proctor. And in fact, Christian done a better job getting on and off pit road than what even Dylan did. Even had a faster stop inside the box. So I believe this is going to turn race lead back over to Brock Morris once this cycle's out. Now, Matt Baines and Jorge Ledesma Jr. both have hit pit road. You can see them. They're in their boxes. Zach White has stayed out. You can see he's into the wall right there. The move, Brock Morris, Dylan Canova, Christian Proctor, the second, third, and fourth. Jacob Wilson, fifth. Matt Baines just now coming off pit road. This is actually going to play dividend for Matt. JD Van Kirk got a black flag. Might have been too fast exiting. He's coming to pit road, I believe, to serve that pass through. So another championship driver with some troubles. Zach White has been on, he's coming to pit road alongside JD Van Kirk. That's going to turn race lead back over to Brock Morris. And you can see right there in toes Dylan Canova. We've seen that one big bobble out of Dylan earlier in the race. About 15 laps in, give or take. That allowed Brock Morris to get to the outside of the 70 machine. And once he's got out front, he has kept it out there ever since then. The only time that it's changed has been in the midst of green flag stops for the 05. I just seen something on the back of that race car I want to take a look at, fans. We're in the Irish Hills. And you can see right there on the back of that race car. Tells me this is a home race for the 05. We talked to him last week, and he was excited to come and race here in the Irish Hills of Michigan. knowing he wasn't a championship driver, told us the only thing he was going to do was come out here and chase checkered flags. And right now he has 20 laps to go. Watching lap times right now, Brock Morris is about a half a tenth quicker than Dylan Canova. Christian is matching lap times with Dylan. Then about a tenth off of their pace is Jacob Wilson. Now, Nick Raffini's been one of the faster cars on pit road. Now, I want to keep an eye on Matt Baines because Matt's actually laying down pretty quick lap times too. Now, they have about 13 seconds are going to have to make up over the course of 19 laps. However, Nick has been one of the faster cars on the racetrack. So points matter, right? You got to get inside, gain all the positions that you can gain, make all the points that you can make. You know, right now, the current points leader coming into tonight's event is currently P2. I'm going to tell you what, that 72's got a fast hot rod right now, though. He's trying to get to the outside of the one car. The one's not going to let him get out there. Is he going to try to cross him over? Oh, he packed air onto the back end of the... Oh! That is intense. This is quite the battle that we have right now between Nick Baum and Matt Baines. The closest battle on the racetrack. Before the green flag stopped, these guys, I believe, were throwing hands at each other. Matt with a really good run. He's going to hold his quarter here. I just don't know if he's going to have... And now he's going to have to slide up, right? You've got to slide up, pack some dirty air on the front end of that race car. You got to... Okay, so, yeah. So, Nick actually got into the wall just a little bit on exit. So, that's going to allow Matt to clear. So, move Matt up to 6th. Now, with those guys racing, Nick Raffini's actually separated himself a little bit from these guys, but not by too much. Right now, the race lead has been extended out to about 1.2 seconds. Still, Brock Morris about a tenth and a half quicker over Dylan Proctor. Dylan Canova. Christian Proctor's actually been better on the racetrack than Dylan Canova right now. Yeah, but he was 0.2 faster that last time by was Christian Proctor. So, albeit he's still some 3 seconds behind the 70. You can see there goes the 70. There comes out of the corner of the screen Christian Proctor right there. And then to some distance back, now rolling out onto the backstretch is the 51 of Jacob Russell. And then you have these three guys. And these three guys have been throwing it all night long at each other. Matt looking to try to get another position. Try to move himself inside the top 5. Oh, big move to the bottom. I don't know if he got loose, but that was a very big move. What a heck of a run he just got. That allowed him to clear. That was an insane move. I wasn't expecting the 72 of Matt Baines to clear right there like that, but he sure did. So move Matt Baines up to 5th. He's going to be trying to track down this gentleman here. And he's going to have about 3 seconds to do so. About 3 seconds in front of him will be the 51. Nick Baum trying to chase down Nick Raffini. I feel like every single week these two gentlemen always seem to find themselves around each other. the Nick and Nick show. Nick Ruffini, Nick Baum. Jeremy Gill out of the mid-tier camp. Jorge Ledesma Jr., you can see he's got the corn dog paint designs on that race machine. Has very quietly ran inside the top 10 all night long. Currently riding 9th. Robert Altman, solid top 10 going right now. Zach White just went a lap down. JD Van Kirk, we know JD had a pit road penalty. I believe he had a pass-through penalty on the last green flag cycles that we had. Davis Shively, Shane Weldon, and we know the troubles that the 37 and 71 respectively have had in tonight's event. So 3 of our championship drivers hit with some bad luck. 9 to go. I believe. 10 to go. The 10 laps to go. Brock Morris has extended that race lead out to about 2.5 seconds. Has been close to finding victory lane over the last couple of weeks. The current points leader coming into tonight's event is still about 3 seconds behind Dylan is Christian Proctor. Now, Matt Baines is closing in on Jacob Wilson. What was 3 seconds is now down to a second. As you can see right there, he goes. So he's shaved about 2 seconds off. And he's about a 10th quicker. So with 9 laps to go, what will be 8 laps to go now that the leader has gotten back to the start-finish line. He's about 9/10 behind him. You can see the distance. There they come. There goes Jacob. Right there comes Matt Baines. What a turn of events this could be. The 0-5 is able to hold on for the next 7 laps and come in here and upset these championship drivers in this chase for a championship. Again, once he had taken over the race lead, that has been it. There has been really no challenge to Brock. Nick Baum is slowly starting to reel in Ruffini here. So what has been a night of some worries for some of these championship drivers has not been the worries for Brock Morris. 5 laps to go here in the Irish Hills of Michigan. Again, next week, race fan, what I'm calling the biggest wild card of the entire 5-race chase format that we have going on here in the Top Tier Racing League Tricia's Learning Center Gen 4 series. Next week we'll be at Road America. what will be the lone road course. And then we're going to the 1.5 miles of Charlotte. And then the last great Coliseum. And then we will crown a champion out in Las Vegas. Christian's made up a little bit of time on Dylan Canova. I think he's just going to run out of laps. So 3 laps to go for Brock Morris once he hits the start finish line, and it's just been a stellar performance. You can see Pure Michigan on the back end of that race car was looking forward to coming here tonight and racing. And what a job he's done. Again, he's going to have to hold on for 3 more laps. Right now, the race lead is out to about 4 seconds. A non-playoff contender or a chase contender. Is not going to allow these drivers to gain any extra bonus points for a race win. 2 laps to go. So the distance between Matt Baines and Jacob Wilson has steadied out to about 1 second. The 05 is just going to try to go down and clear Altman in the 94. White flag is out here in Michigan. 1 lap to go for the 05 of Brock Morris here in the Tricia's Learning Center Gen 4 Series in the Top Tier Racing League. Just 1 more set of corners to go. He is going to be able to park this thing in victory lane. Brock Morris is going to be able to get it done here in Michigan. Brock Morris wins Michigan. Dylan Canova second. Christian Proctor third. Jacob Wilson still working to get around here to the start finish line. We'll bring it home in 4th. Matt Baines will bring it home in 5th. What a job by the 05. Just an absolute stellar performance here in the Irish Hills of Michigan here tonight. We knew that once the green flag cycles would start to play a factor, that these drivers were going to spread themselves out. Getting a little love tap from some of the drivers here. They're just showing him love for his win. Having a little grass on them slicks did make for an easier burnout. Brock Morris is your race winner. Dylan Canova brings it home second. Christian Proctor third. Jacob Wilson fourth. Matt Baines fifth. Nick Raffini sixth. Nick Baum seventh. Jeremy Gill eighth. Jorge Ledesma Jr. ninth. Robert Altman 10th. Zach White 11th. JD Van Kirk 12th. Shane Weldon 13th. Davis Shidley 14th. Jake Raven 15th. Kenny Kuko 16th. He's got her down there in victory lane. He's burning the tires off of her. We're going to see if we can get some of these drivers in here. Christian, it's Brandon up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, you got me?
I got you, buddy. Hey, listen, heck of a job tonight, man. You was a regular season champion coming into tonight's event, and you found yourself inside the top 5 and really third about all night long. I mean, you had a stellar qualifying performance. You was able to bring it home in third. And we know that the 71 of Kuko had some troubles there on the exit of turn 4. So you should be able to position yourself back in the second behind Dylan there. So what's it going to take? Well, let's go through tonight. So take me through Michigan, through your night tonight and your third place finish.
So going into tonight, I knew I'd be pretty decent here. I can be pretty consistent. Didn't qualify as high as I thought I was going to, but 5th isn't bad to start at. Ran pretty good. Made a couple passes. Got about 3rd. I think Kenny either got around me or was in front of me already. I think I was 4th then. But then out of nowhere, I just noticed Kenny was gone. I after the pit stop, I noticed he kind of dropped off and no idea what happened. But I guess, as you said, he got into turn 4 there, and turn 4 was rough all night, getting real loose out of there. But man, at the end, I was running down Dylan Canova a little bit. I didn't think I could get him in time, but I was running him down a little bit, dropped it from about 5 seconds back down to a little under 2, and then I caught some lap traffic and it slowed me down just a little bit, but can't complain about 3rd place finish.
Yeah, absolutely not, right? I mean, that's the way you want to start a championship run. I mean, we know Brock is not a championship contender, and so the only one in front of you was Dylan Canova. Now, we know that you're going to move probably into second place, behind Dylan. So heading into Road America next week, what's the plan going into Road America? And then we have Charlotte, Bristol, and Vegas to follow.
Well, road courses, that's where I thrive at. If Brock wasn't there, I'd probably win every road course this season. I think I finished second in all of them. Looking pretty good for Road America going into next week. Just looking to keep the car clean there. It's pretty tricky. It's a long track, so keeping it clean. Just try not to get in any trouble with lap traffic and bring home at least second place and get in front of Dylan.
All right, man. Well, listen, congratulations on that 3rd place run. A stellar performance, I feel like, out of the 13 machine tonight. So I'm certain you got some friends, family, maybe some sponsors, and some people you'd like to thank, man. So shout them out.
I just want to thank my team, especially Jeremy Gill. I bring him back out every week, even though he doesn't like the car too much, but he's our team owner. And just want to thank the team. We help each other out every week, get stronger, get better, and can't thank him enough.
All right, man. Well, listen, great run tonight, and I'll see you next week when we roll into Road America.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
That was Christian Proctor, our 3rd place finish. And what a phenomenal job he's done, throughout the season. Was our regular season champion. A solid top 3 finish tonight. We expect him to run well when we get to Road America next week. So I'm excited to see what he can do throughout the remaining set of races that we have. Dylan, it's Brandon up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, so, we do this a lot, me and you. We conversate a lot, but tonight it's one place difference than what we typically conversate when you're up here in the booth with me. However, it was a non-championship driver that did take the win tonight. So coming into tonight, into the Irish Hills of Michigan, we knew you were the point leader. We know that for sure. And we know that Kenny Kuko had some trouble there at the exit of turn 4, so that's going to shake up some points, and that's going to allow you to gain a little bit of points maybe on Christian, what was a 9-point difference that you had over top of Kuko at the time. So take us through the second place run tonight. I think you did everything that you needed to do, provided it was a non-championship driver to win, right? So take us through the night and what it means to lock up a second place, and then what we're expecting when we head into Road America next week.
First off, hats off to Brock. He had my number pretty much as soon as he got around us. That was it. Almost stole it back when he slid through his box, that first green flag stop, and then I gave it right back, nearly crashing it off of 4. So that kind of evened out, and then I tried to undercut him and slid through my box, and it kind of evened out, I think, in the end with the undercut and sliding through the box. You just needed a little bit more. I could never get the car to quite rotate up high like I wanted it to. So I normally at Michigan, I much prefer to just rip around the wall and kind of stay in the throttle and let it drive off the right rear. And never did come to that. So, but hats off to him. He did great with tire savings. I don't know how he kept the speed he did. But yeah, I think the points will work out good. I think we were able to, I have to double check. I think we were able to steal the point for the fastest lap right there at the end on that last stop. So that's an extra point. And then I think we might have been the only other car that led laps. So there's another point. So good race overall. Just gotta get one more better, one position better anyways, moving forward, and just try to survive next week at the road course and minimize point loss rather than maximize point gain.
Yeah, so once we get into Road America, and you just said it right, you want to minimize the point loss, versus point gain. But then once we leave there, we're going to Charlotte, Bristol, and Vegas to finish. And so with the remaining 3 races that we have, Road America is just going to be kind of minimizing trouble, getting what you can get. But then for the remaining part of the schedule, it's just going to be trying to get checkers, right?
Yeah, I think we have a pretty good shot at all 3 of those tracks. Pretty good at Charlotte, Bristol, Las Vegas is probably my best, if not definitely a top 3 best mile and a half for me. So good chance going into those. And for whatever reason, I seem to do good in this car during the night races and struggle during the day races. Saw that at Dover and tonight. So I think Charlotte, Bristol, and Vegas are all night races. So that kind of plays into my hand, hopefully.
Well, listen, man, I think you did everything that you needed to do tonight, provided that, it was one place shy of where you want to be. However, it was a non-championship contender that did take the win. So I think you did everything you needed to do. I know you got some shout outs and some people you like to thank, man. So shout them out and enjoy that second place finish.
Yeah. All the fans out there watching, you for putting on the broadcast, all the admins that gives place to race, Tricia's Learning Center. Shout out again to Brock for that win. He's over at Revved Up. Everybody at Hyperspeed, everybody at Revved Up, Circle W Farms, Forest by Dennis, Victory Fuel, everybody that makes this possible, and we'll see if we can't get it next week.
All right, boss. Well, listen, enjoy that second place finish, and I'll see you when we roll into Road America.
Sounds good. Hopefully talk to you then.
All right, Bubba. Have a good one. That is our second place finisher and what will be our current points leader. And again, I for the race fans at home, I tell you, I think he did everything he needed to do tonight, right? I mean, he kept the car inside the top 3, finished second. It was a non-championship driver that was able to take the win. And the one thing that you don't want to do is if it was a championship contender that he would finish behind, that's a 5-point swing. So I think he did everything he needed to do. Brock, it's Brandon up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do. How you doing?
Man, listen, I'm probably not doing as good as you are, but I'm going to tell you, what a fantastic night, right? I mean, you roll into the hills of the Irish hills of Michigan. When we talked to you last week, we knew that you was looking forward to coming here and racing, and then the battle heated up, right? Dylan got a little bit loose off the exit, opened up the outside for you, and that ultimately gave you the position going into 3 and 4 to really, keep that momentum up there. It looked like the inside line just couldn't pass the way that the outside could carry momentum, and you was able to get out front. And once you got out front, man, you just showed the way from the rest of the time forward. So take us through the night that you had here at Michigan and what it means to be able to park that 0-5 in victory lane.
Yeah, overall, I felt like it was a pretty, good night as they go. First oval win in the series, which I'm really proud about. Started on the pole. I felt like track position was going to be pretty important here, even though it is decently easy to pass. It's just as easy to defend that high lane. So, yeah, I made a couple runs on him, trying to go on the inside of the corners. Wasn't working out too well. Once he sort of, vacated the top lane, I knew that was my best shot. Had to drive it in pretty deep. Got him there, and yeah, just set sail from there. And I'm honestly, this is probably my most proud race I've done in a very long time. I've been working so hard to get better at the ovals. I'm mainly a road course guy, and coming here in Michigan, even though it's just pixels on a screen, Michigan is my home state. I've been to this track several times, and it means a lot to get it here.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. I mean, when I'm a sim racer too. I don't just call races. I enjoy it, but I race on Monday nights. I race on Wednesdays and Thursdays. And so I get it. Right. The Michigan, to me, is one of the most funnest tracks to race around. Much like you, I don't live in Michigan. However, I've been there several times. And to me, it's one of the most funnest races to go to. And to ultimately get that first win on an oval, much like you had said, it is very rewarding because I don't think a lot of race fans at home realize how much work a lot of the sim racers put into what they do to hone their craft. You're right. It is just a few pixels on the screen. However, there is a ton of work that goes into it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm studying to become a mechanical engineer, so everything is numbers to me. And so the past few races, I have some pretty massive Excel spreadsheets trying to figure out what I need to be doing better in longer runs, in pit stops, in everything, which pit stops still need some work after tonight, but I feel like my improvement has been I'm very proud of it. So
yeah, absolutely. Listen, I get it, man. I'm excited for you. I'm excited that you got your first win on an oval right here with me up here calling it. That's really exciting. And then next week, I get to see you do it all over again because I know how fast you are at road courses. So I get to see you do it all over again at Road America.
Well, I'm hoping to translate it over. Road America is one of my favorites. That was definitely the one in the schedule this year that I had circled is like hoping to do well there. So yeah, we'll see. I've already started putting in a couple laps, just feeling it out, and it's a pretty unique combo.
Well, listen, man, congratulations on getting your first oval win here in the Top Tier Racing League, Tricia's Learning Center Gen 4 Series. I know you have some shout outs for some people. I know one of them is going to be Corn Dog Designs. I'm pretty certain.
Yes, sir.
Shout everybody out, man, and enjoy this victory here tonight in Irish Hills.
All right, Corn Dog Designs, my car, all the revved up racing cars, Corn Dog Designs. These cars tend to end up in victory lane quite often. I'm not saying there's a correlation between having to paint and winning, but it does seem to be a trend. So hit me up if you want to paint. I'll hook you up. The revved up racing guys, been hanging out with them all season. Gonna continue to hang out with them for seasons to come. Kettering Esports, I'd also like to thank, not even thank, shout out Fago. It's a Michigan pop company. I ran it here since it's like kind of a local thing. And yeah, my mom and dad.
Absolutely, man. Well, listen, congratulations one more time. I'll see you next week when we roll into Road America, and hopefully we'll get to talk to you again.
All right. Sounds good.
Thank you, bub. And that is race winner Brock Morris. And for the race fans at home, let me tell you just how exciting it is, whether it's on the sim or it's not, to get that first win at an oval at somewhere like Michigan. Much myself, I'm a sim racer, and I enjoy calling races, but I enjoy racing as well. And I've had a lot of support over the years from my wife and my mom and dad and my kids. And my sim rig sits over here next to me from where I do all the broadcasting from. And so it is a very rewarding feeling because we do take a lot of time away from our families to come back here and sit down and race or broadcast or whatever the case may be. And so it is a very rewarding feeling. So shout out to Brock for his first oval win. Great job. He had been knocking on the door all season long in the oval races that he had ran. So shout out to him. Great job. I'll see everybody next week. We're going to be rolling into Road America. And then once we finish up Road America next week, we're going to be heading into Charlotte, Bristol, and Las Vegas. So we know that we had some troubles for some chase contenders tonight. We know that a couple of them finished inside the top 5. We know next week that Brock Morris and company is going to be headed into Road America. So we're going to see how everything shakes out. Road America, to me, has been the wild card throughout this entire thing, or at least the playoff chase. And so we'll see how everything shakes out. But again, I want to say thank you to Royalty Racing Network for allowing me the opportunity to come in here and call these races here on Tuesday night, as well as the top tier group, Kuko and company, and everyone else, Drafty, and everybody else that plays a part in putting this league on. I want to say thank you for allowing me the opportunity to come up here and call these races. I enjoy it, and I hope the race fans do at home. I will see everybody next week when we head in to Road America. Have a good night, everybody.